This is Colin O'Keefe here with today's episode of LXBN TV. It isn't the ideal outcome, nor is it usually all that pleasant, but sometimes it has to happen, and that's you have to fire somebody. But how do you do it? Joining me now to offer some best practices and also some things employers really shouldn't do is attorney Lisa Stam. She is founding partner at Koldorf Stam LLP and author on employment and human rights in Canada. Lisa, let's start off with the best practices. What should employers do when it comes to letting somebody go? What are some of the proactive steps they should take?
The first place to start is to be very clear about whether you're trying to terminate this person's employment for cause or without cause. And certainly for any of the U.S. People watching this, we don't have at will in Canada. And so if you're dealing with your employees in Canada, I don't know, 90% of the time it's going to be without cause. And so to the extent that you can do it amicably and reasonably and nicely, like a good Canadian, it's very helpful because you don't want to be dinged with bad faith damages at the end. So in general, plug your nose and but be reasonable and smart about it. So bring your IT people in and make sure that you've frozen the server. Captured the information that you think may be at risk. Rarely do employees actually sabotage, but it's still, you don't have to worry about anything if you act information. So do some prudent steps ahead of time, but anticipate that it's probably going to be awkward, but fine.
Definitely. It will be a bit awkward, but you definitely want to be proactive on some key issues. So second, let's look at the other side of it. What shouldn't employers do when it comes to firing somebody? What are some of the missteps that you frequently see?
I mean, the first thing to do is really make sure that you know whether or not you're going to be terminating someone with or without cause, and don't try to terminate them for cause before you've really gathered all your evidence and have all your ducks in a row around that. So for those small handful of cases that maybe you really just need to terminate them because of bad behavior, make sure that you actually have the evidence to prove that. You're going to need that in Canada, whether it's electronic evidence or, 5-10 years ago, if it was because of a Facebook post, make sure they actually wrote the post as opposed to it just being posted on their wall. Think hard about that. There's enough weight that you can attribute to that post. And so make sure you have all your information up front and don't be hasty. Make sure that you have your documents lined up. So it's always good to have some sort of interview, an exit interview with them, or at least the in-person termination meeting. Hand over a termination letter that confirms what your meeting was just about. You probably will want to attach some sort of release if you're going to give them some sort of package, and a release that says if they accept this package that they agree not to sue you. You definitely want to get all those things signed before you start to hand any severance package over.
Definitely. That was Lisa Stam of Koldorf Stam LLP. For more of her insight on this subject and others in the employment law space, be sure to visit CanadaEmploymentHumanRightsLaw.com. Thank you for joining me today, Lisa.
You're most welcome.